So here we are, this is the last race of the season at the Leicestershire League, round 6, Colville Wheelers at the Manor Farm somewhere in Leicestershire. And this race had everything. I think it was a really interesting course, and I had a fun time, type 2 fun. So let's see how this race unfolds. Here we go. Obviously chose the wrong person to start behind there, terrible start, but right in the thick of it here. We've got riders left and right. I'm going past this chap on the left, and I'm actually off to quite a good start, I think. Really bumpy section here coming into the first corner, rolling down the hill to the first chicane. You see how bumpy it is there, but I've passed a couple of riders there. I'm really happy with that, right into the mix. Taking the inside line round here. And I know we're only 30 seconds into the race, but this isn't looking too bad here. Here's a little high speed overtaking move. Puts the power down, makes no mistake. Need to put in a bit more effort here, I think, just to get right back onto that guy's wheel. And this is where it all starts to go a bit wrong. This is one of the hardest bits of the lap, and you're straight into a mud pile. And I totally got carried away with my amazing performance up till here. Wrong gear, and I'm basically stationary there. And here I am about to be punished by the Leicester Forest riders, taking his place back and stormed past me. And yeah, that's the first sign of weakness, I think. I'll just let the wheel go, and we've got work to do here. And this is probably where I'm looking behind me going, oh well, at least I've got a gap to the folks behind me, rather than thinking, 700 watts here, Rich, come on, you can get back onto the group. And yeah, it looks like I'm all alone here, but at least I haven't let anyone else pass, and this is another really tough part of the lap. Got to really rail it into that corner there and bounce up, and then keep putting the power down, but I just have to do a little shuffle to get over there. I think I was just a bit gassed from the first part of the lap, but I can still see in the distance, there's my target, that's who I need to get back to, and I'm working hard to get there. Another tough section coming up. This had really changed since the practice laps earlier on in the day. It got much more rutted and slippery, and then you worry about crashing into that bit of padded fence, and then bit of a comedy fall there. Just sort of couldn't get clipped out. I was having all sorts of trouble with my pedals today. I'm going to throw them in the bin after this race. I just couldn't get them to either let me unclip when I wanted to, or kind of keep my feet in the pedals when I was trying to pull hard up the hills. So yeah, they probably had a load of mud in them, but they've been rubbish, so I need to get some new pedals. But it definitely wasn't just me getting mechanical problems from the claggy mud in this race, so I just need to keep going, not let it get to me, and fight hard to get the place back that I just lost. And it looks like my effort pays off, because I managed to get past him as we come up to the hurdles here. And by the time we get to the hurdles, I remember feeling absolutely cooked, so it was all I could do to jump over the damn things. And then, oh no, disaster strikes. He comes past, and this time he really drives the knife in on this awesome farmyard section, and doesn't look like he's powering away too quickly, but he's got more than I've got at this point, and off he goes into the distance. But look here, we're on lap 2 now, and I'm determined to make a fight of it. I'm right back with him. And now we're back to this bit that I messed up on the first lap. I remember it's probably better to stay on the left here. I'm in the right gear this time, and look how much better that is. This guy's going for a little walk, but I'm keeping the pressure on with our man in yellow here. Now let's take a look at my line choice here. I think I just need to stay a little bit wider to the right here on the grass, and take the low line. I think that would have been much better, and I think I do work that out by the, 4th lap or something. And now these are the scary bits where you just got to hit and hope that you can stay straight through the narrow section here, don't go in the water, don't crash into the barriers, and then get yourself into the right gear for another tricky, sloppy climb and off-camber section. Now here we are, I'm really stomping on the pedals, trying to make up another position. I think, to be fair, this guy's bike's making a really horrible noise. I think he's got a load of mud in his front mech, but he's plodding on, and I'm going to go past him, and then we're going to go down the fast section and see if we get back onto our man in yellow. I think to a certain extent I was worried about this section here, but I had plenty of grip. I was using it for a bit of recovery, not pedalling, but I think I could have pushed on a bit harder down that hill on every lap, and it probably would have helped with my lap times. And you can see what happens as a result. I've lost another place. This guy's obviously pedalled down that hill, gone a bit faster than I have, and he's made the place back that I just took on the uphill. But you can hear his bike. Oh, that's terrible. He's going to be there cleaning his bike for a little while, and you can see it doesn't look that muddy, this, but it was sticky mud, and it really played havoc with everyone's bikes. I guess this is where the advantage of having two bikes would have really come into it, to be honest, but you know, not everyone can have two bikes, eh? So let's critique this bit again. You know, no pedalling, 0 watts, not pushing hard enough into the hill, worried about smashing into the fence again. I don't know what's wrong with me, can't get clipped out, sit down on the floor, and then I'm pushing the bike. You know, I think later on in the race I was just getting off and pushing up the hill, but I absolutely know I can do better, and it's something for me to work on for next season. Now at some point during the race I managed to get a worm wrapped around my cassette, and it really made like the two gears that would have been most perfect for these kind of sections completely unusable. It just kept on jumping, and I only found it when I cleaned the bike at the end. But you know, I could either be in like a ridiculously easy gear or slightly too hard gear, and I think that's what kept happening there. Again, more bike woes. Going down this hill again, not too badly, but there we go, that's the chains come off, and so I've got to jump off and sort it out. Again, just too much mud, you know, not much to be done about it, but it does mean I quietly lose another position, and there's someone else I need to chase back, and there he is. Pretty determined here, I've got to be honest. I've got to get past him again. I found out which gears I can use and which ones I can't. I keep skipping through the ones that don't work, and just got to make the most of it, haven't you, you know. And as we go around this corner you can see like I am just slowly inching my way back. I get lapped here by the rider from the Nottingham Clarion, I think, and I think, well, actually quite a good wheel to be on, and so I just try and match him up this hill to see if I can get past the rider ahead. And here we go. He gets rid of his sunglasses, we both go past. Not sure you need your sunglasses on a day like today. I think that's what he's realised, and we can both have a nice relaxing ride down the hill. And here we are back on our favourite section again. This guy's having all sorts of trouble. He's hopped off and he's in for a bit of a long run. I've finally figured out how to ride it nicely. It doesn't look that graceful, but you know, I'm still on the bike and I can just sit behind and watch him run as I sort of slowly grind my way along the off camber. And then we've got the advantage of still being on our bike while he's remounting, powering straight past. But it just shows you that I'm obviously quite well matched with some of the people around me, and you know, people struggle on different parts of the lap. There's just quite a lot of overtaking, a lot of racing, and you know, it made it really quite a fun race actually towards the end. And so our man with the orange handlebars has come past again just as the bell starts ringing. So we've only got one more lap to do, thankfully. And now watch this for a masterclass in how this hill should be ridden. It really is quite impressive. Just watch this. You've got to come in it with a lot of speed and then have that little bit of power over the top and then keep pressing through the mud. Now spare a thought for us two here pushing our bike, watching that guy come past us at 100 miles an hour and thinking, wow, you know, we've got a long way to go. And the two of us are locked together. Look, you can see just now just tries to get past me. I'm not having any of that. So on the last lap, got to defend every position. Well, that is until your bike goes wrong for the 52nd time, and this time your chain comes off the rear derailleur, and you know, not much to be done apart from lay your bike on the floor, sort it out, and hope you don't get overtaken again. Oh well, there we go. But yeah, oh no. But like, I'm so determined. I'm like, right, that's it. You know, I've got to get back into action here. Bit of a burst of power. And there we go. And this time I've got to keep it going through over the hurdles. And this is probably the fastest I've run over the hurdles all day. Trying to maintain my position in the race that I've worked really hard for. No good throwing in the towel now. Just got to get through this farmyard for one last time. And then we've got the finishing line in our sights. And I think it was a really close battle actually. I think I only just held off the rider behind me, and I'm really working hard to catch up with the rider ahead. I love this section of the course. It's quite unexpected to go through a bit of a farmyard on a cross course. I like a bit of a variation in terrain. But we're back out onto the field, and you can see that I'm working really hard, and I think he probably just notices that I'm almost on level terms. I mean, he's in a different race really. He's not in the V40s, I don't think, because of the orange number on his back. But it's still worth trying to get past him, but I think I've left it a bit too late. This is the end of the race. But yeah, quite happy with my performance. Absolutely loved the course, but thank goodness Cross is over for another season. And now we can get really excited for Cross again next year. Cross is coming.